Mugwort has several benefits. Some of them include helping with digestion, relieving menstrual cramps, and even some antibacterial properties. Come over and learn some more with me. Well, hi, it's Rachel with the Herbalist Garden, and we're going to talk about mugwort today. I am an herbalist. I am not a doctor. I have my notes here on the screen, so I will be reading from that, and I say other things too. Um, let's see here. Highly recommend everybody always do their own research because I don't don't ever trust anybody. It's just um can I say that I'm trustworthy? Yes. But not everybody is. Some people are trying to push their own product. I don't really have a product. I mean, I do make stuff and I do consult with people if they want some help, but I don't like sit there and say, "Here, I have all these products. Come and buy from me." I don't think that's fair. I think it is if somebody wants something, they know how to find me. That's really kind of what it boils down to. So it's always about doing your own research. I provide the links below in the description to help you help facilitate that research. That's just the beginning. There were so many more websites than what I gleaned my information from. But do your own research, and that's the bottom line. I will also be requesting some suggestions for further herbs to use. I have a list here. Um, Ones that have been requested are gum tree, rhodiola, eucalyptus, aloe, elecampane. Mugwort was also a recommendation. So here I am doing mugwort. I actually really like mugwort. It grows in my yard. It's always so amazing when it grows wild in your yard. It's just like free. It's nature handing us what we need. Because we will go over all the benefits today. Okay, all the ones that aren't, shall I say, repetitive, because some of them just link to the topics that I'm going to mention today. Anyways, Artemisia vulgaris. Artemisia vulgaris is what the scientific name, Latin name, whatever you want to call it, is for mugwort. And it has been used for centuries to help with pregnancy and menstruation related issues. It is believed to have various health benefits, including pain relief, supporting liver health, easing muscle cramps, and improving digestion. Mugwort may also have antibacterial and antifungal properties, which I'm just reading what they have here. They don't they don't may have it. It does have it. So I've used it. I've experienced it. It does have those properties. You have to make it correctly. So the plant's technical title, Artemisia vulgaris, comes from Artemis. She's the Greek moon goddess who is considered a patron of women. Meanwhile, vulgaris specifically ties back to the first many mugwort uses that we'll be talking about. Historically, it has been an herbal inhibitor for women's menstruation cycles and provides menopause relief, which is huge. And if you're interested in like a whole entire episode on just menopause and perimenopause and pre blah 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 blah, any of those, let me know because nothing is finite, but at least it can give some concrete information with some links for your own research. Um, it is a big issue that every woman has to go through. Mugwort's health benefits come from its rich chemical makeup, which includes essential oils and various natural compounds, including artemis, artemisinin. I had this pronounced perfectly earlier. Artemisinin and camphor. We're going with it. However, mugwort supplements may not be right for everyone, especially those who are pregnant and nursing or allergic to ragweed. We will go over these more specific stuff later on about side effects. So, one of the best ways to use mugwort, I guess there's two ways, but the first and foremost, most popular one is making a tea. So, its leaves can be infused in boiling water, and people also tend to smoke the plant too. Um, it is a good alternative to tobacco. It also is available in capsule form at health stores, or you can literally forage your own, dry it, and then powder it, or even put it in, and then put it in little capsules. Guess what? Those are herbal supplements. You don't have to buy it from the store. But I know there's a lot of people who don't have the time or the desire to do the intricate things to make everything less expensive, like they did for centuries before us. I ain't judging. I ain't. I really not. You can, mugwort has other names, or it's referred to as other names. I don't know if it necessarily has other names, but some people have called it felon herb, green ginger. Um, they've called it wild wormwood because it has a very similar look to wormwood. It can also be confused with St. John's wort because of the name, I guess. I don't remember what it is, but St. John's wort is not the same. It's also called chrysanthemum weed because of its appearance. You can find various varieties of mugwort growing natively in Asia and Northern Europe and in parts of North America. So mine is specifically in my yard. It is the Artemisia vulgaris. It is the common variety. And that makes me super happy. So it is commonly used. My seat keeps on dropping, so I keep on moving it up. Anyway, I need a new. Actually, I have the new little pressure pump in, but I don't know how to install it. We have no men that work in our office anymore. Anyway, people use it for stress relief. It can improve energy levels. It can superly, sure, superly improve sleep. That is what I have used it for in the past. Um, it can provide itch relief topically. It can help with blood circulation, headaches, liver health, digestive problems. It can repel insects, relieves muscle aches, obviously helps with menstrual cycles, and it is a diuretic, so it helps with urine output. Um, Historically, Roman soldiers used to put mugwort in their shoes to ward off fatigue. St. John the Baptist, this is where they get the whole St. John's wort from, blah, 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 blah. He was said to wear mugwort girdle to relieve stomach pain. I don't know. That's just what I read. So it can help with amenorrhea, which is, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly or not, but it's the word that means irregular or absent periods. And women, I understand having periods and everything is awful, to put it mildly, but it's healthy. We don't want to not have them, honestly. Like, I don't have them anymore. I got that fixed. I got that taken care of. But honestly, it ages you faster not to have them. And it causes, and when you're younger, it causes other health problems to not have it. Literally, if you're having it every single month, you're very, very healthy by comparison to those who don't. Because not having it, it, it basically like begets, as I said, aging, osteoporosis. Um, there's a lot. So it's awful, but it doesn't last forever. And it's super healthy to have it. But historic uses for it, other than that one that I mentioned, people use it for anxiety, chronic fatigue, colic in babies, um, constipation, depression, eczema, diarrhea, epilepsy, headaches and migraines, insomnia, nausea and vomiting. In traditional Chinese medicine, mugwort is used in moxibustion. Never heard of the word before I started researching it. This involves rolling mugwort into sticks or cones, igniting them, and waving them over the parts of the body being treated. This is thought to enhance effects of acupuncture specifically for them. And a 2022 study suggests moxibustion offers benefits in treating IBS and diarrhea, so IBSD. The active components. We're going to talk. So the active components of mugwort. There are the above ground parts of the plant that are used, especially to make essential oils. Compounds in the oil, including camphor, pinene, and cineol, are said to have I can't read. Potent antioxidants, antibacterial, and antifungal effects. I have experienced those personally. They do have those in them. The mugwort plant contains a chemical called, we mentioned this before, that I can't pronounce it, artemisinin. That's in the root, the stems, the leaves, and the blossoms. When eaten, artemisinin is said to cause gentle contractions of the uterus, so that's why you can't have during pregnancy. But that also does, like for non-pregnant women, it promotes regular periods. Um, in Chinese medicine, sometimes it has been used to induce labor. Don't recommend that. Without like careful watch from somebody who knows what they're doing. Let's put it that way. It is also that artemisinin is also known to have anti-cancer properties to it. Um, when the leaves are between 2 and 4 inches long, with it has the soft gray or white hairs on the underside of the leaf, and is like they're deeply lobed as well, and they resemble chrysanthemums and the ragweed seedlings, but that's not what it is. Mugwort. However, it has a very distinctive sage smell to it that those other ones don't have. Some places considered an invasive plant. Um, invasive species just basically means that it isn't. Hold on, let me find that out. So all an invasive species, if somebody calls something an invasive species, it just means that it is not native. That's all that means. Um, I guess there are some things that can damage the ecosystem. Like they say, the spotted lanternfly was doing that, and then they're finding out that that's not necessarily true. Um, so, but anyways, some places considered an invasive species because it grows very prolifically. In some states, it's actually illegal to plant the seeds and grow it yourself. Check with your local and state regulations before cultivating it, because we don't want no fines on anybody. It's a tall shrub, is also closely related to sunflowers, and its leaves, flowers, and roots are all used in their nutrient content. So when one has, like, say, mugwort tea, that they're going to ingest flavonoids, triterpenes, other antioxidants, as well as vitamin A, vitamin K, vitamin E, potassium, iron, calcium, and various B family vitamins. People often use it for insomnia. I mean, it helps. I've used it. Anxiety. We're going to talk about all these. Um, Cramping, digestive issues. It can be used for obesity, weak immunity. We're going to talk about all this: inflammation, colds, coughs, flu, respiratory infections, and kidney infections. But we're going to go over each one of them. So let's talk about, like, this, how it soothes and treats joint pain. In conjunction with the moxibustion technique that stimulates fetal movement inside the womb and is a successful therapy in certain forms of arthritis. In one study, the same ancient Chinese technique was blind tested on patients with osteoarthritis. Out of 110 patients, half were given the real deal moxibustion treatment, and the other half were given a placebo 3 times a week for 6 weeks. Neither the patients nor the practitioners knew which patient was receiving the treatments. The results? The end of the treatment, there was a 53% reduction in pain for participants in the moxibustion group, and only a 24% reduction in pain within the group who received the placebo. In other words, their pain just went away. Knee function also improved in 51% of the moxibustion group and only increased 13% in the placebo group. In other words, the placebos basically, their body healed itself. The effects of the therapy were not necessarily permanent, but the results were promising. That's what the study said. So it will improve our skin health as well because of its antibacterial and anti-inflammatory properties. So it'll be good for, say, acne. It is the potential to help with and aid weight loss because of all the B vitamins that will give you energy and boost your metabolism. It increases your passive fat burning. So basically, it'll just help in your efforts, help your body operate at a higher level of energy and efficiency. So in the way it does that is because it improves your digestion. Um, so it's been used to settle stomachs and ease indigestion. It can stimulate the appetite. If you have problems with that, it'll only do for your body what's necessary. Um, can reduce bloating and cramping and counter unpleasant conditions like constipation and diarrhea. The active compounds stimulate the production of bile, which helps speed digestion. Um, so it's a natural digestive stimulant to help relieve the bloating, indigestion, and constipation. We talked about it, how it'll help with anything menstrual in women. So, as an emmenagogue, that's what it means. An emmenagogue basically is an herb, a plant that helps with menstrual pain. Um, it'll regulate the menstrual flow, relieve menstrual cramps. So, primary use, excuse me, yawning. So, it'll typically treat dysmenorrhea, I can't say the word. Basically, it's menstrual cramps. So don't use it during pregnancy because it could stimulate a miscarriage, and we don't want that, or even trigger premature labor. We don't want that. So no using it during pregnancy. If you want to use it to induce labor, make sure you're with somebody who knows what they're doing. So we talked about it being a diuretic. So guess what? Diuretics help you eliminate toxins. So basically, it cleanses the kidneys and the bladder. It reduces the chances of an infection as well as helps improve function. Can stimulate sweating, which also helps eliminate toxins. We talked about how it can boost the immune system. It has a high concentration of vitamin C, and that's really where it comes from. The antioxidants that are in it as well. So all those things will boost the immune system because vitamin C stimulates the production of white blood cells, acting as an antioxidant, neutralizing free radicals that cause inflammation and weaken the body's defenses. So it's like a whole big old interwoven thing that makes everything happen. It's like one thing begets the next. So in all that, it will also support your respiratory health. Like it'll help with coughs and asthma and stuff like that. Yes, it'll even help when you smoke it. It just does. I mean, you might cough, but it's not the kind of cough that's actually bad for you. There's a lot that I have a hard time vocalizing exactly what I want to say. But it's kind of like having, say, cannabis with the THC in it. It will, yes, you'll cough if you have some, but like once it's absorbed into your lungs, your bloodstream, blah blah blah, it actually like aids in controlling that cough, like a sickness cough, and it actually will like open up your lungs so that like you don't have asthmatic symptoms. But it's also a liver tonic, and the liver is something that we need to detox often because having optimal liver function is how we stay healthy. So it also can improve vision health. We've been talking about that. Multiple people have asked about that in the Facebook group, the Herbalist Garden. Is there anything that could help it? Pardon. That can help improve vision naturally. And yes, can it make it so you don't wear glasses anymore? I don't think so. I really don't. Can it improve things? Yes. Some of it is due to aging, some of it is due to eye fatigue, sometimes it is sugars. Sometimes it is just the shape of our eyes that change. And that is something we can't really change. Can't change the shape of our eyes. It just grows with the skeleton, the whole internal organs and everything. We can't necessarily change the shape of our eyeballs. But it can the because it has all those antioxidants and it has beta carotene, it can prevent macular degeneration and slow the development of cataracts. So it can improve vision in that way. It can also increase the bone mineral density. Okay. It's a great mineralizer for bones. It can prevent age-related bone disorders like osteoporosis. Uh, the teas, the tea is what's has people use more than anything else in the ways of ingesting mugwort. So it has high potassium, iron, calcium levels, and all those things support bone health. So we talked about how it can balance hormones. I did not particularly find that it did that, but I wasn't using it for that at the moment, so I don't know that if it was something that I would have been conscious of. I could try it again. Got plenty of it since it grows in my yard. So excited about that. So, but all in all, it'll also help with mental health because it has calming properties to it. So it reduces anxiety, improves mood, all that kind of stuff. Which also, the other reason that I did use it at the time that I had some, I just haven't in a while. I go through stages. But it can give you vivid dreams. So for centuries, mugwort tea has been praised for its psychic and even hallucinogenic properties and has long been used to stimulate vivid dreams. So it can, whether it be from a spiritual aspect or a physical, like ingestion aspect, because some people just say put it in the mugwort plant under your pillow and you could have vivid dreams or lucid dreams. I do not feel that I ingested enough to have the dreams, but it did help me sleep. Um, I used it to help with sleep at the time. So it didn't really, I don't recall having any vivid dreams or lucid dreams or anything like that. But the reports of that is few and far between. That is not a specific reason to say, oh my gosh, it gave you lucid dreams. I'm going to go get some today and smoke or drink some tonight. And it's like, we may or may not do that. It just depends. I do not feel that it had that effect on me, but I also may not have had enough. So let's go back to that moxibustion because that's the main. I gotta. I do not know what's wrong. I need. Usually it's a lack of oxygen. I am talking a lot. Okay. We talked about how moxibustion involves burning the herb over a specific part of the body based on a practitioner's goal. Practitioners also commonly use moxibustion during acupuncture to increase the effectiveness of the ancient Chinese practice. Some evidence suggests that moxibustion may help prevent or correct breech births, may reduce and also reduce the need for cesarean deliveries. I'm not sure. Okay, we're going to talk about it. I don't know where all this came from, but okay. A 2012 review suggests that this can be combined with acupuncture or postural techniques A 2019 review also notes that moxibustion decreased the use of oxytocin compared to with no treatment. Oxytocin reduces stress, right? We know that. It calms person down and it helps with pain during labor. So I still say if you're going to use it to induce labor or during labor, have somebody who knows what to do, observe, and be involved. Because I'm not going to be responsible. And I don't want you to be responsible. I feel like the experimentation can happen. It won't kill the baby, won't kill you. Anyways, we're going to get there. A 2020 study found significant toxic components in moxibustion smoke that might have adverse effects on, say, liver, kidneys, heart. Therefore, people should ventilate extensively when using mugwort. I do agree with that. Don't use any sort of, what is that, combustible material in a closed space, whether it be with tobacco, cannabis, mugwort, or any other thing that you may be smoking or catching anything on fire, even a candle. I don't recommend candles in the first place because of the endocrine disruptors within the fragrance. I've talked about that before, but no enclosed spaces. So let's talk about how it can reverse breech birth position. In most cases, when a baby is just a few weeks shy of entering the world, its head will naturally begin moving toward the birth canal in preparation for birth, right? Well, approximately 1 out of every 25 full term births, that does not happen, and it causes a breech birth. Now, they don't really let women have breech births anymore. Um, there are complications that can happen, but there's complications that can happen on either ways, and no matter what scenario. So I don't think that they should be fixing that. But that's just my opinion. Ancient Chinese medicine started using moxibustion as a natural solution for this dangerous situation. So what is moxibustion? We kind of talked about it. Let's see what they say. The leaves of the mugwort plant are formed into a short stick or cone and burned over the acupuncture points. This inhibits the release of energy and circulates blood by creating a warming effect on the acupuncture site. When moxibustion is used to reverse breech fetus, baby, the procedure stimulates a specific acupuncture point, BL67, near the fifth toenail. This creates blood circulation and energy that increase fetal movement, baby movement. According to the study by the Journal of American Medical Association, 75% of 130 fetuses reversed position after the mother was treated with moxibustion. Okay. I don't believe I'll ever have an opportunity to practice that or even attempt it. It's obviously not going to hurt mom or baby. I don't know. So, as I said, this is the first I've heard of it when I was researching. It sounds kind of neat. So, another way that it aids is arthritis reduction. I mean, kind of helps with muscular joint, but arthritis, right? So, a 2017 review found sufficient evidence to suggest that moxibustion is effective for pain reduction and symptom management in people with knee osteoarthritis. This supports supports a 2016 review that suggests that moxibustion could be helpful as an alternative to treating knee osteoarthritis. This light is so freaking bright. Because it improves circulation as well. And that is something that I think that is helpful the way that a lot of people would necessarily use it. So I would say you could formulate mugwort, rosemary, um, calendula, because usually when you have any sort of um, circulation issues, it also causes pain. So calendula would be good for that. Arnica. I haven't gone over arnica yet. I'm gonna put that on the list too. Arnica. Arnica. I know how to spell. I don't always have to pronounce things. All these big words, scientific words. So let's move on to how it can be treatment for cancer. A 2018 review of numerous studies into moxibustion concludes that it may also help reduce the symptoms of chemotherapy and improve quality of life. Okay. So it'll basically help with the cancer treatment side effects. Um, but they still believe that because it's anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and all those kind of things, that it also can prevent cancer. The study author concluded that until they know more about the safety of this remedy, people should exercise caution when consuming extracts of California mugwort, whether as a tea or a tincture. California mugwort. Hang on, pause it. So, scientific name for California mugwort is Artemisia douglasiana. Okay. Okay. So, in other words, don't try that one without using caution, basically. So, because of all the ways that it detoxes, all the ways that it has antioxidants, and it has antibacterial, antifungal, antimicrobial properties, it's also going to be helpful in expulsion of parasites. So it can get rid of some intestinal parasites. I still think that it would be something that you'd have to have quite a large dose of. But here's the other thing. Large doses begets what? Potential for toxicity. That's why everything needs to be monitored unless you know exactly what you're doing. There is no dosage recommendations at all that I could find. A cup of tea, a couple times a day tops. Because it also contains the thione, the THUJONE, and that is toxic in high amounts. But that specifically is what aids in so much of the things that we needed. I was looking up Thujon and Thujon. It's basically an antagonist to your GABA receptors. It is fine in low doses. Do not overindulge. Cup or two of tea. If you're gonna smoke it, don't like hotbox it. I don't know. It would take a lot. Literally, it's one of the smaller accumulated compounds, so it's really not going to do. It would take a lot. So let's put it that way. The flowers are dried and boiled with other herbs to make a version of an herbal tea, and so it's been used to flavor beer. Um, some say that the herbal mixtures result in a sour flavor. like sours. I like sours a lot. But it's called Groot, is the herbal concoction that they put together and flavor beers with. So some ways to ingest, use the mugwort is essential oils, dried herb, tea. You can get the seeds, smudge sticks, powders. You can smoke it. Um, do what you need to do. Just don't overdo it. Don't sit there and like, I'm gonna have so many vivid dreams tonight. I'm gonna have so much of it. No, it'll just make you really, really, really sick. So don't do it. Side effects. Don't use if you're pregnant because it can cause uterine contractions and bleeding. Menagogue. Don't use if you have a specific ragweed allergy. Um, People allergic to celery, birch, or carrots should be cautious with mugwort because it is linked to a celery mugwort spice syndrome. This is typically a milder allergy, but it can cause anaphylaxis in rare conditions. A small 2024 study of 79 people with the celery allergy tested them for their responses to a specific celery, birch, and mugwort allergies, with 77% demonstrating an allergy to the mugwort pollen. As I said, I don't have any dosage suggestions based on my readings. My suggestion, a cup of mugwort before you go to bed to aid in some sleep. If you're going to smoke it, I would recommend actually like putting it in with other herbs. I mean, you can smoke obviously tobacco, cannabis. You can have the mugwort, lavender. Um, there's a lot of herbs you can smoke. Look them up. There's a ton. But those are the ones that you could like put it all together in the same paper, and you get like the effects will be tiered based on the herbs that you put in there. I think that's pretty cool too. As I said, do your own research. And I wrote it in here. Yes, I saw my apple in my hand. I want to gnaw on it. Okay. Gum tree. If you want to learn about gum tree next, put a 1. If you want to learn about arnica next, put a 2 in the comments. Rhodiola would be 3. Eucalyptus would be 4. Aloe would be 5. Elecampane would be 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I highly encourage you to let me know. Put it like this. And those are all the other ones that I've done. So 1, gum tree. 2, arnica. 3, rhodiola. 4, eucalyptus. 5, aloe. Or 6, elecampane. So tell me what you're interested in learning about in the description, or I'm sorry, in the comments below. I would just love to hear from you in general. If you don't like what I'm doing, be kind, please, because I'm not making money on this yet. I that is my goal, not to sell. I don't necessarily want to sell things, but if you want to have anything that I make, just talk to me. Message. Be a kind keyboard warrior. We can talk about things. I can recommend things. I can make things, but it's going to be modest pricing because I'm not out to make money off the product. I want to monetize this page, this channel, so that I can have passive income and still do things that I love. And then I can also like improve what I'm doing here. I can get a better program that might cost me money. I can work on like doing it from home with backgrounds and having like physical examples. There's a lot of things that I want to do, but I don't feel like I want to put in all the money and the effort if I'm not going to make money from it. Because all I need is you guys to be here and viewing and participating, and that will then facilitate being able to monetize this page. It won't cost you a dime, just time. And I appreciate that you are here to help me with that. So we learned about mugwort. What did you learn that was new today? Anything in particular? I thank you so much for being here. Thank you for supporting me. And I don't know. It is up to you what we do next week. I'm also going to ask the Facebook group, The Herbalist Garden, what I should do as well. They do actually, usually every Monday, I put in what they want. I ask what they want, and that's where I've gotten suggestions from. Those are specifically like requests, but it's about which is next. That's a tough one. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you very much for learning with me today. I hope to hear from you. Don't forget your suggestions down below. And have a wonderful